Serious, what are some of the biggest mistakes people can make in their 20s? Not brushing your teeth. When my father passed away, I slept away each night without taking care of myself. I've had so many root canals, removals, and pain because of it, and it only hurts what little self-image I have of myself. When your teeth go, you smile less and hate yourself a little more every day. It just takes so much away from you. Please take care of those chompers. Not taking advantage of your greatest asset, time. When I was talking with an older friend who was very well off, millionaire, I jokingly said, "I'll trade you my age for your money." And his reply has always stuck with me. He said, "I can do more with your time than you can do with my money." I didn't take it as an insult but as motivation to make the most of my time and not waste it. Not wearing hearing protection in loud situations. The tinnitus is real, man. MAWP. Heavy drinking. You can waste away years of your life like this, thinking you're just partying. A good friend of mine recently came to terms with his alcoholism. Getting blackout drunk every week for nearly a decade is not normal. Get loans. Credit cards that they can't fully pay off. Spend more money than you truly have or make. I did all that. Now I am punished by my own poor mistakes of trying to spend money with PPL who make way more. I got 2 to 3 more YRS and I am paid off. Having children by the wrong person. Tip. If someone has multiple children with different exes and do not have any sort of custody of any of them due to them being taken away, or have multiple kids that they refuse to spend any time with despite having a custody agreement in place, they're probably not going to magically change into an amazing parent for the baby that you want to have with them. I have acquaintances who do not seem to be able to grasp this concept. Well, yeah, he doesn't spend time with his 5 kids or pay child support. All of his exes are psycho by chess. He's excited to start over with me and our baby and be a family again. And then, 8 months later and 7 months pregnant. This asshole just left me for a 22-year-old that he got pregnant and left the state so the courts can't find him and charge him child support. I never thought he'd do this to me. Yes. There's always that one exception of someone who was unfairly treated by the courts or has truly changed and is now a better person. But in general, just don't do it. Marrying the wrong person. Not getting a routine of a healthy lifestyle. When older people say, "It gets a lot harder when you're older," they mean it. But you can always start treating your body better at any age. Don't throw in the towel because you're older. Don't make excuses. Make goals. Not wearing sunscreen. Seriously, people wear sunscreen. Getting sunburned just once can triple your risk of melanoma later in life. I work with a lot of older hippies, construction workers, landscapers, and arborists, and a lot of them have skin cancer and they all really wish they had worn sunscreen. Listen to Baz Luhrmann and wear sunscreen. If you're concerned about certain chemicals in sunscreen, there's always alternatives. Also look into Korean sunscreens. They have amazing sunscreens that go on smooth just like lotion and don't leave you sticky or contain some of the harsh chemicals in American sunscreens. Make it a part of your daily routine and you'll appreciate it later in life. For the majority of my friends in high school, it was trying heroin after experimenting with pills. Since then 6 have died and the rest are either struggling with their addiction or have completely ruined their lives. Don't waste time being self-conscious. Don't waste time on negative people, relationships, interpersonal dramas. Use this time for personal development. Get good at things you enjoy. Be friends with people who make you happy. Do interesting shit. Literally no one, ever, has looked back and been pleased that they spent 6 months embroiled in roommate drama. You're not going to, hopefully, be regaling the bar with how that B. Cheryl bleached your towels in 6 years. It doesn't f***ing matter. No one has ever been super jazzed that they nitpicked their own appearance for 7 years and consequently couldn't enjoy themselves because they were pulling at their clothing. I'm not talking about self-improvement. I'm talking about being really unhappy with yourself for the sake of being really unhappy with yourself. Stop doing that. You're fine if your relationship involves screaming, drunken screaming, the silent treatment, weird subterfuge, or general nastiness. And I could make an endless list of bullshit behavior. Leave that relationship. You are going to outgrow friendships. Other people are going to outgrow your friendship. This is normal. It's not an indictment of you as a person. It can be painful. Handle it with grace. And always, think before you react. Always be your own devil's advocate. Think about others. Think about how you sound when dealing with conflict. Being a stable person is partially an acquired skill. Learn it. Buying vehicles they can barely afford. Not realizing that the really nice cars also usually have really high insurance rates. I saw this happen to some friends in my late teens, early 20s. I have a friend that decided to go out and get a used Infiniti G37 coupe because it looked cool. One day he starts asking me how much I pay for insurance on my car. I ask him why. He's curious, and it turns out that he's paying almost $300 a month on insurance alone. And his car payment is around $350 for a 5-year loan. He was paying almost $700 a month for a $20,000 car. Coasting on their potential. It's easy to put off actually doing anything while you're still basking in the glory of being the smart kid at school or university. But then all of a sudden you're 29 and there are celebrities younger than you, and you find yourself wondering where to even get started. If you want something, the time to start working towards it is while you're young and hungry. People used to tell me all the time that I had so much potential, then one day I noticed I didn't hear it anymore. Potential isn't worth a damn thing unless you do something with it. Don't think that there is plenty of time to save for retirement. If it is possible for you to put something away on a regular basis, do it. The best time to start is when you get a job that offers you more pay than what you were getting. Take a percentage of the increase and start savings that right from the beginning. That helps make it such that you never miss it. Living a lifestyle you can't afford. Along with this, not saving money, emergency fund, retirement, etc. Even just a little bit is better than nothing. Saving big chunks like tax returns instead of treating yourself is hella smart. That's not to say don't ever treat yourself responsibly. Got a $2,000 tax return? Sweet! Spend $100 or less on something nice. And squirrel the rest away for emergencies. Maxing out credit cards. Kids witness their parents opening up credit cards at major retail stores, not understanding what it means. Since most teens are inadequately prepared for handling finances fresh out of high school. Opening credit cards is just what mom and dad always did. Credit cards are great when used properly and paid off monthly. 20+% interest is ungodly. My dad calls the interest charged on credit card purchases a stupid tax. F everything else in this thread. Take care of your teeth. Take care of yourself. Your habits now will follow you for a long time. I'm 27 and starting to realize this, so I'm trying to turn things around. Less drinking, more salads, less carbs, etc. Also, don't waste money on stupid shit. If you're about to buy something stupid, just think, will I get annoyed at having this in 2 years? Falling out of the habit of exercising regularly. It's such an easier habit to maintain than it is to adopt in one's 30s. The solution is finding something you actually like to do. If running on a treadmill at Planet Fitness sounds like the literal manifestation of hell on earth, then maybe go wakeboarding a few times a week, or lift weights, or ride a bike, or do yoga, or f-king jazzercise. Whatever makes you happy and shows you progress in yourself over time is what you should do for exercise. And for anyone who's a lazy piece of s like me who doesn't like just about any exercise, find fun things to associate with exercise. I have a favorite show on Netflix I've been meaning to watch. So I only let myself watch that show while exercising. Gets me a good half-hour session of treadmill or elliptical every day. And when you're watching an intense show, the time flies. I call in Netflix and mill. Just f-king coast through life waiting for something to happen. Nobody is gonna walk up to you and hand you a meaning to your life or a fulfilling career. Adding to this, just because you don't know what to do with your life doesn't mean you should do nothing. Having a kid before being in a committed relationship, being married, and being financially prepared. Friend of a friend had a kid, and I feel bad for the little one. The mom more or less is having her mom take care of her while she does drugs. Everyone should wait till they're ready. Forgetting about calling and visiting your parents. Seriously. It may sound weird, but when I was in my 20s I was so happy to be out of the house that I made the mistake of disconnecting with my mom and dad. I wish I would have done more. My dad died over 3 years ago while I was working far from home. Really left me with a lot of regret of, should have spent more time, talked more to him. My mother calls me at least 3 times a week. I'm usually in the mood for her. But during a bad day, it doesn't matter how annoyed, fed up with the world or tired I am. I just take a deep breath and let her talk with me for as long as she feels like it, sometimes 5 minutes. Sometimes 30 to 40 minutes. Because I don't want to have the regret of having our last call be a short, bitter one. Not caring about credit score. Getting credit cards and maxing them out and not being able to keep up with the payments. I'm speaking from personal experience here. I was never taught to be financially responsible and it's been a hard lesson learned. I'm 35 now. My credit score is slowly creeping up. And I have a 3-year plan budget for home ownership. I'm literally a decade behind where I wanted to be. Racking up more school debt than they need to because they feel they need to stick it out at the expensive private college for whatever reason, friends, relationship, school reputation, etc. Closing parenthesis dot. Thinking that you either deserve or don't deserve things that happen to you. I am quite guilty of this. Don't be comfortable. Seriously. Be uncomfortable. Interview for a job that's out of your league. Ask the girl out that's out of your league. Apply for grad school that's out of your league. When the worst thing that can happen is the same as if you never tried. Try. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always uncomfortable. Going to law school and then dropping out in their last semester. Good luck finding a non-law job with law school on your resume. Even more so if you didn't finish. When you inevitably default on your student loans because you couldn't find a job. Now you can't qualify for the military or any other government jobs. Oh, and you also can't take out new loans to finish up school. Except now you can't finish school either because you only have approximately 7 years from when you begin to finish. Source: am royally fked and would be worth more money if I jumped off a bridge tomorrow. Loans have ballooned up to $300. And can't be discharged. Getting into a relationship with who has control issues. A lack of respect for personal boundaries is a serious red flag. The risks include depleted savings, ruined credit, damaged a career, frayed ties to family and friends, and ending up with 1 or more unplanned children. Serious advice: if a charming person is that red flag but you think you can manage it, don't even try. Not having the dedication to save and keep saving. I currently just got out of college and started to get into the rhythm of working after having a dry spell on applying places since December. I'm lucky I had some money to back up those months of not really being employed. Now that I started to get some income in, I'm trying so hard to put away those paychecks and hold onto them for when I want to find a house or for retirement fund. But I'm still in the mindset of if I see something I need it. Staying at a job too long. If you're not making more money or in line for promotion 30 months after you start, you'll likely be kept there for a while. Big salary changes these days pretty much only occur by job hopping. Not contributing to their 401k IRA. If your company matches, max it out. 100% on ROI is basically unheard of long term, so it's free money. Pouring money into depreciating assets, expensive vehicles. Large rent payments when cheaper options are available, going to grad school just because you have no idea what you want to actually do. Have a purpose and goal. Know about a dozen people who went to law school just because, and had their life delayed heavily due to it. Letting your health deteriorate. You can't eat or drink like you were a teen, and health problems can sneak up on you. Nip it in the bud. Otherwise it will just get harder. Letting idealizations of someone blind your judgment, marrying someone without knowing them as well as you should. Or overlooking red flags, not using BC or a condom in one-night stands. Or when with a partner you can't realistically see supporting and raising a kid with. Spend too much time trying to impress people on social media. Not being interesting. Really. It takes time to be interesting. It takes time to grow a personality and an identity that isn't based off the things you like, or worse, the things you hate, or some preconceived labels. People say, go out, live life, have an adventure, and yeah, that's a way to be interesting. But reading books, writing, painting, cultivating a knowledge base either very specific or very broad, those are also ways to be interesting. And what's so important about being interesting? Well, the obvious way is that it's a way to meet people. and make them stay. And while you may not need people, it's still nice to have them. But I'd probably say even more important than that, is that it gives you a sense of who you are, and what you want to do, and thus ways to relate to people, because you can't be interesting without interests and goals beyond just living to tomorrow and avoiding suffering. Because life isn't just about avoiding suffering. Or at least, we all should hope it isn't. And when tragedy inevitably comes, or you find yourself suddenly in a strange new place or alone, in the end, you'll find yourself interesting. Too interesting to give up on. Too interesting to throw away. So do something unique. Dare to disagree. Explore an inclination. Scratch an itch. Because in this cynical world, it's dangerous to just be a collection of likes and dislikes. Easily moved and swayed because you don't have a place you want to be. So be interesting. 20s are a minefield. Everything you do determines a large chunk of your future. I'd say the most careful with drugs and relationships. In my 33 years, those two things have been the most damaging and life-dream threatening. Wasting time. I wasted so much time, and here I am in the first year of college at 29 years of age while most of the people in my class are 18 to 19 years old. 26-year-old student checking in. On the plus side, being an adult learner has caused me to take my studies a lot more seriously. Staying in a mere relationship because they think that's as good as relationships get. Or staying because you don't want to throw the last X number of years away. Sunk cost fallacy. Those years are gone no matter whether you stay together or break up.